Hello and welcome to DieCastRestos. My name is Jason and this is the No.7 Mercedes Benz. It was first manufactured by Morestone in 1956 in the Esso Petrol Pump Series until the series was discontinued in 1959. Morestone changed their name to Budgie Toys in 1959 and the model remained in production until 1965. The casting is based on the Mercedes-Benz W196R, the streamlined version of the Formula 1 racing car, driven to victory in the 1954 and 1955 World Championship by Juan Manuel Fangio. It included large unpainted wheels with crimped axles, a red painted base that incorporated the driver, and no highlighted body trim. As with many of these models, it is in good condition, just some lightly chipped paintwork and some slightly rusted axles, while the driver is looking slightly beaten and bruised. My first job is to remove the edge of the single central rivet, but unfortunately this model proved to have a significant weakness and split in half. Thankfully it was a relatively clean break and the inside will be obscured by the bodywork. So I use some super glue to join the two pieces together. I'm spreading the glue around a little here to ensure it doesn't spray out across the wording on the base. I can then push the two pieces together and allow them to dry naturally. Once dry, these are the component pieces ready for paint stripping. Well, this surprised me a bit. I'm not sure if this minor explosion was related to the paint, the glue, or the high temperature of the water. So I persevered and added very small quantities of caustic soda and gave it a stir, which seemed to do the trick. In the hands of Fangio and Sterling Moss, the W196 won 9 of the 12 races it entered. Its direct fuel injected engine was adapted from the V12 DB601 used in the Messerschmitt Bf109 during World War II. The streamlined version was known as the Type Monza, owing to the high-speed Monza circuit in Italy. The closed wheel body debuted at the 1954 French Grand Prix at Reims. It was raced on only 4 occasions, twice at Monza and once at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. As you saw in the last scene, the driver has been displaced, so I will need to stick him back in his seat as well. Meanwhile, I'll remove the remaining paint with a wire brush. Here I am re-gluing the driver back where he belongs with a touch of super glue. Again, I leave this to dry naturally, avoiding using sodium bicarb. Then I can move back to the bodywork to file down the imperfections along the casting lines. I then use some fine sandpaper to smooth it out. Budgie Toys started life as toy distributors Morestone, then becoming Morestone in the 1940s, before becoming Budgie in 1959. They went out of business in 1966. I have a select few of these models that I will attempt to restore sometime in the near future, but I will be wary of the weaker materials compared to the Lesney counterparts. Here I'm applying Tamiya's white fine surface primer. The quality of the casting design is good, but this is quite pitted and gaps are fairly prominent. I'm not sure that the primer will completely fill them in, to be honest. The colour I use is Tamiya TS8 Italian Red for the base. The base will have 2 coats of red. You can see the join mark on the base here. It's not too prominent, but it's fairly obvious that it is a cut and shut job. So next I clean up the wheels in warm soapy water. And then using my rotary tool, I gently grind away at the rusted surfaces of the axles without taking the wheels off. I have to say I much prefer removing the axles in this way rather than reforming the axle ends. Here I'm applying the paint to the prime body. This is, you guessed it, Tamiya TS30 Silver Leaf. I think this has gone on remarkably well. The silver beautifully highlights the streamlined casting. It's no wonder this model was in production for almost 10 years. Now I complete the simple task of reassembling the model. The wheels are placed on mounts before the base can be slipped over the central post. Simply push down, and then the axle ends are highlighted. So this is the complete model I began with. In fairly good condition, as I mentioned earlier, but the silver paint is a bit of a disguise. The red is chipped on the driver and on the underside, and the metalwork was particularly weak, as proved by the 2 breakages. This was a restoration I thought would be a quick and easy respray job, but it soon proved otherwise. Nevertheless, it hasn't put me off taking on a Budgie / Morestone model in the future. It really is a wonderful casting, and I went out of my way to get one of these, being a big Formula 1 fan. Hopefully I've done it a bit of justice rather than just destroy it. So this silver arrow was looking a little blunt, and here is what it looks like now. It's perhaps a touch lighter in shade than the original paintwork, but I'd like to think it's fairly representative of the W196. Mr. Fangio is looking a lot healthier now with a nice bright red face. The axles are shinier, having had the rust ground down, and the wheels have had a clean and some sticky residue has been removed. The Budgie versions did have a black plastic wheel variant that I think I would have preferred over the metal wheels, but I think this still looks great for its age. You certainly wouldn't be able to tell that it has been broken into multiple pieces. Anyway, that leaves me to say thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you again for the next one. Bye for now.